Pasito tum tum, pasito tum tum, pasito tum tum, pasito tum tum.
Hello, this is Chef WIllie, and you know what time it is? It's Little Fishy time!
Little Fishy time!
This is where I give my quick thoughts on the recent movies that just came out on this winter. I'm not gonna do them all, I'm just gonna do the ones that I had the chance to see. Now initially, I was gonna start this 6 movie review with The Disaster Artist, but I couldn't find it anywhere in my lame ass cinema, or anywhere online. So instead of removing it from my list of reviews and feel like there's something missing on this video, I'll be giving a non-review about this movie and what can I expect from it.
In case you haven't heard of this one, The Disaster Artist is based on a book about the real-life Tommy Wiseau, an aspiring filmmaker actor who makes what is known to be as the worst movie of all time, which would get a cult following for how hysterically bad it was.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
This is definitely gonna go in the Oscars for being this year's new Hollywood story. It's the La La Land, the Birdman, the artist of 2017. And Hollywood loves these stories of a weird outcast overcoming the system. Very ironic coming from Hollywood. And Tommy Wiseau is a very weird person.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Now, there were some concerns whether if it was made to poke fun of Tommy, which James Franco has confirmed that it's not made to mock him, but to set alight how despite he made an awful movie, there was so much driven passion while filming it. Like the Edward of this new era, showing how you can live and breathe what you're passionate about 24/7 and still suck at it. It's gonna show Franco acting weird, being rejected by filmmakers, doing strange decisions on set that don't make any sense, and in the end it will turn out as well for him. Plus, even if it doesn't win any awards, wouldn't it be amazing to see Tommy stand in front of the Academy? The one guy you never expected to see in front of this audience. It would be the ultimate underdog achievement, but it would take a lot of politics to book this ending. So, I'm excited to see this movie. I just hope Tommy doesn't get too upset that I haven't watched this movie yet.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Okay, we officially start this review with Justice League. The DC Universe has finally aligned for this letdown of a critical and box office records. Now, I have seen worse superhero movies recently, so this isn't as bad as some might be able to be. But at the end of the day, it's just another group of generic heroes fighting another generic evil villain.
When you have behind the scenes drama that is more compelling than the movie itself, you can spot a red flag from miles away. Reshooting half the movie, cutting most of the original script, having 2 different styles of directors working on the film, personal tragedy falling on one of them, which all condolences to Zack's loss over her daughter, CGI mustache. But I also blame the story continuation working through the bitter taste that BBS left on us. How do you go from introducing more superhero characters that we don't know without feeling rushed? How do you go from killing Superman to reviving him as the symbol of hope that inspires the Justice League formation when in the last movie he was so uninspiring and so hopeless? And how do you go from building up Darkseid when you have Doom Steppenwolf as worst villain in general? So this was a no-win situation, and from what I got with my low expectations, it's a safe mess that could have been worse. I didn't find anything that was insultingly bad, except for the villain, but it is a shallow crossover with no depth. The only one I found to have any sort of depth whatsoever in the team was Cyborg, and that's saying much from the little development these characters had. I'm still a fan of Gal as Wonder Woman and Ben as Batman. I popped when I heard the classic Danny Elfman Batman music and the John Williams Superman score. And I feel bad for the cast that has to end up getting these negative feedbacks of their work when they're doing all the best they can to be as good and fun. Hell, I could even see Aquaman as the Johnny Bravo of the team.
You smell kinda pretty. Wanna smell me?
But Warner Brothers can't get a pass by adding nostalgic goggles, generic plot, and CGI that looks as good as the first PlayStation graphics. This is a fish I would've used to cover up. the mustache.
No, with great mustache comes great responsibility.
Moving on from DC to Marvel, the God of Thunder has returned in Thor Ragnarok. Following its mediocre sequel, it takes the tone of the character to another direction. It is more nostalgic, it is more colorful, and it actually has higher stakes to lose from. Like their seriousness.
So with Thor now getting a little dry in the taste of audiences, how can you make an all-powerful Shakespearean god fresh and interesting? Well, make him a goofball. Yeah, Thor has gone from being an honorable warrior to a doofus. He's the Gimli of Marvel now. He's the dumbass Hercules of Disney. But it's probably the best since he was starting to get a little stale. It doesn't get better until Hulk arrives, where it becomes half and half buddy comedy and unresolved family issues with Loki. But the strength of the movie, it's its look. The villain looks great. It's a mesmerizing, creative, colorful world with creative, colorful characters. Jeff Goldblum being the most colorful out of all of them.
Hey, Sparkles, here's the deal. If you want to get back to place, Asperg.
Asgard!
I would crack up every time he spoke that I forgot he was supposed to be a side villain, and that can also be a problem. It's good that they're making Thor more fun in order to make him interesting, but the jokes fell way out of balance that you couldn't take anyone seriously, from Thor, from Loki, to Hulk. My only hope is they don't get too funny when they get into the deep emotional stuff with Infinity War. I can still watch this and enjoy how Marvel is opening up to the space weirdness of its colorful worlds, but I'm gonna give the red flag that the humor went too far this time. This is a fish that must be pardoned from life.
Officially pardoned from life.
Now we move on with animation with Coco. You know, for someone that feels a hole with animation for their generic plot lines, generic animal characters, Coco brought me that spark of hope that maybe animation can still work if given to the right people. Now, if you think I've been biased because this movie's Hispanic and I'm Hispanic, I wish this could have been bad so I could tell you how bad it was, but I just can't because it was good.
This is what I expect in every Pixar animation. Great stories, great colorful worlds, great emotional messages, and Coco delivers in all of them. An aspiring Mexican musician arrives into the world of the dead during the Mexican festive of Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, and tries to find a way back home. We've seen these stories before about the kid learning to follow his passions, discovering the importance about family, but it goes on a deeper route like The Land Before Time, showing how to remain a dead loved one alive through our memories we share with them. And being set in a popular Hispanic festival makes the message even more fitting. Hell, watching it, this made me want to celebrate Day of the Dead just to let my grandparents know that I haven't forgotten about them. The characters don't always seem to be the most memorable, except for the grandma, who has a great detail of wrinkles. But it has a universal message that could tear anyone up. It's colorful, it's emotional, and it's one of those I won't be forgetting anytime soon. Death as a fish, I will always have in my memory.
Get your fat ass back here.
Coming up next is Murder on the Orient Express. Now, I was a bit concerned about this one because when you have a gigantic cast of A-list actors, they don't always do good. Plus, I didn't know what to expect from it. I didn't hear about the original Express from the 70s. And wouldn't you know, it was a fun crime mystery that brought me back into the days I used to play Clue on my own.
Spoiler warning, there's a murder on the Orient Express, spoiler ends here, and it's up to the greatest detective of all, played by Kenneth Branagh, to discover who did it among these passengers. Nowadays, good acting can be confused at times as being someone that's funny. There's a few moments that played out as fun, but it is a serious tone acting that is well delivered by Kenneth Branagh. I mean, anyone with that mustache could have played out as over the top. Other performances shine through like Michelle Pfeiffer, Josh Gad, but where it lacks on is the enormous cast of A-list actors, where some of them are not as fleshed out or properly developed. This movie takes plenty of inspiration from the classic films, solely depending on the good dialogue and a slow build-up. It's a welcoming flash to the noir days that pays off with a great revelation in the end. I say go check it out, just so you can get into the ending. It's a fun crime-resolving mystery that asks the question, when is it necessary to serve true justice? That's a fish I would use as a weapon in my clue crime.
Now we finally get into the big one. Are you ready for this? Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Boy, this is dividing a lot of audiences and opinions. Now, I could see some points that were frustrating, but the amount of hate that it's receiving, I think it's over-exaggerated. It approaches the story as a step forward with some powerful moments. So internet, whatever happened in the movie, it happened. You can't do anything to change it. You just got to accept it like I have.
Let's mention the elephant in the room. Is it a copy of The Empire Strikes Back? No, but it borrows some elements from it, and also Return of the Jedi, to make something that feels fresh and new. It's got astonishing visuals and unfamiliar editing that we've never seen come across in a Star Wars movie. On the other hand, it has unsatisfying answers that were built up to deliver, a few weak subplots, and under-established characters. What did deliver was Mark Hamill's performance as Luke. The best dialogue and scenes were with his interaction with Rey, but maybe he's a little too dark for some fans that might resent it as much as Mark did. I didn't have much problem with it. Carrie Fisher was also good to bring that final emotional punch for her last role as Leia. Since it has the longest runtime in any Star Wars movie, it might suffer from slow pace, but when it gets going, it gets really great. When you think it's about to end, and it keeps going on, and as a Star Wars fan, it was very exciting. This is probably going to be overanalyzed and debated by fans as to where does it stand. It has weak moments, yes, but it delivers signs of a new start, a new evolution from the old to the new, with the Force, with Rey, and Kylo Ren, who also was great as a villain. It takes the mythos and expands it into something more than what we have nostalgically cherished. Depending where you stand, this will either excite you or terrify you. It might be too dark for some, but for me, it was powerful and emotional in my second viewing. This is fish, even the greatest teacher, failure is.
Now if you missed any of my 6 reviews, here's a quick recap of what I thought about them. The Disaster Artist remains undecided, but I expect good things from it. Justice League is a thumbs down, Thor Ragnarok was fun, but the humor brought it to a thumbs down for me. Coco is a thumbs up, Murder on the Orient Express is a thumbs up, and finally, Star Wars The Last Jedi is a thumbs up for me. What? So, what do you thought about these movies? Have you seen them? Did you like them? Did you not like them? Leave your thoughts on the comment section down below, and if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe for more content. Well guys, this is my last review this year, but tune in next time for more reviews and comparisons to come next year. So for now, that's it for today. Ciao!
Pasito tum tum, pasito tum